Sometimes Allah removes someone from your life so silently that you don't even realize the protection hidden inside that moment. You look around and wonder why the message stopped, why the bond weakened, why the connection suddenly felt heavy and distant. You question yourself. You doubt your worth. You replay conversations trying to understand what changed. But the truth is simple. Nothing went wrong. Allah just saw what you couldn't. He heard what you didn't. He witnessed what was hidden from you. And when a connection is built on lies, pretense, manipulation, or intentions that contradict sincerity, Allah does not let it survive. He removes it quietly, but He removes it perfectly. Not to punish you, but to purify your path. Not to leave you empty, but to protect your heart from a disaster you never saw coming. And one day you look back and realize, if that person had stayed, they would have destroyed parts of you that Allah was safeguarding. So He took them away, not loudly, not violently, but with a wisdom that only becomes clear when the storm has passed. Now let's understand why Allah removes people and what these removals are actually teaching you. Sometimes Allah removes a person from your life because their presence is quietly damaging your heart in ways you never noticed. You may think the connection is good, you may feel emotionally attached, you may convince yourself that this person is part of your journey, but Allah knows the effects of every word they speak, every intention they hide, every influence they carry. And when the influence of someone begins to weaken your faith, your clarity, your dignity, or your peace, Allah intervenes long before you recognize the danger. Many times, people around you don't show their true nature immediately. They come with friendliness, warmth, attention, or charm. You only see what's visible, but Allah sees the unseen, the internal conversations, the hidden motives, the quiet arrogance, the manipulative tendencies, the dishonesty you never detect. And because your heart is soft, because your loyalty is strong, because you try to give people excuses, you may allow someone to remain in your space long after their presence started harming you. This is why Allah, out of His mercy, removes them. Not because you are unworthy, not because you failed, not because you misjudged, but because your heart is precious to Him. Your faith is precious to Him. Your well-being is precious to Him. And if someone is affecting these in a negative way, even subtly, even slowly, Allah does not wait for you to collapse. He steps in, He redirects, He closes the chapter. When Allah says in the Quran, perhaps you dislike something while it is good for you, and perhaps you love something while it is bad for you. Allah knows and you do not know. It is not just about hardships or material losses. It applies to people too. You may love someone's presence, but Allah knows the long-term consequences. You may admire someone's personality, but Allah knows the weight they place on your heart. You may think you can handle the situation, but Allah knows how deeply it will wound you later. There are moments when a person's attitude towards you shifts. They become distant, colder, distracted. They stop valuing you the way they once did. Their promises fade. Their sincerity weakens. You feel that something is off, but you don't understand why. This shift is not always a coincidence. Sometimes it's Allah creating discomfort so you can walk away from what was never meant to stay. He makes the bond feel heavy so you stop holding on to it. He creates a distance so you are not blind to the truth. You may even feel confused, wondering why someone who meant so much to you suddenly exits your life. But ask yourself, were they bringing you closer to Allah or taking you further? Were you more grounded or more anxious when they were around? Were you flourishing or slowly shrinking? Did you feel guided or distracted? Did their company strengthen your patience, your gratitude, your discipline, or did it introduce restlessness, sadness, comparison, and emotional instability? We often romanticize human connections without realizing that not every bond is a blessing. Some bonds are tests. Some are warnings. Some are temporary lessons meant to shape your character, not accompany your future. And some are simply too dangerous for your heart to carry any further. Allah removes people when they start affecting your values, when your kindness is being taken for granted, when your loyalty is being exploited, when your sincerity is being misunderstood, when your softness is being used against you. When your standards begin to drop because you're trying to keep the wrong person comfortable, Allah protects your heart by taking away those who handle it carelessly. There are also people who bring out the worst in you, not because you are a bad person, but because the connection triggers your insecurities, fears, impatience, or emotional wounds. Their behavior pulls you into reactions you don't like. Their presence destabilizes your inner peace. Their inconsistency drains you. Allah knows that every time you interact with them, something inside you becomes unsettled. He knows you deserve better than a cycle of emotional highs and lows. So He breaks that pattern by removing the person causing it. Sometimes Allah removes someone not because they are entirely bad, but because they are not good for you. Your journey requires a certain environment, a certain mindset, a certain purity of influence, and they would only delay, weaken, or complicate your growth. You may not understand this now, but Allah does. And when He adjusts your life, He does it with precision. Your heart will resist at first. You will think about the memories, the conversations, the what ifs. You will try to hold on to the familiarity. But eventually you realize that Allah never takes anything away without replacing it with something better. And better does not always mean another person. Sometimes He replaces the person with clarity, with strength, with resilience, with deeper faith, with a cleaner environment, with more meaningful relationships that come later. When Allah removes someone, He is not abandoning you. He is aligning you. He is not closing your life. He is protecting your future. Every removal is a redirection. Every disconnection has wisdom, and every loss has something waiting behind it that is more stable, more sincere, and more reflective of who you are becoming. So the next time someone quietly exits your life, don't rush to fill the space. Don't question your worth. Don't chase explanations. Instead, acknowledge that Allah has seen something you haven't, and He is safeguarding your heart. Trust that His plan is not random. Trust that the removal is part of your preparation. Trust that the one who created your heart knows exactly who deserves to stay in it. There are times when Allah exposes a person's intentions in a way you never expected. You may think someone is good, sincere, loyal, trustworthy, but that perception is built only on what you can see. And what you can see is limited. Human beings judge by appearance, tone, behavior, and effort. Allah judges by the heart. Allah knows the conversations you never heard, the feelings you never noticed, and the motives you never detected. This is why one of the greatest mercies of Allah is that He does not allow false sincerity to last too long. He reveals it, and He reveals it at the exact time you need to step away. Sometimes the exposure is subtle. A small comment, a change in attitude, a hesitation, a contradiction between what they say and what they do. You feel something is off, but you brush it aside because you don't want to assume the worst. You make excuses for them. You blame yourself. You convince your heart to stay quiet. But Allah doesn't. When a person's intentions are not clean, Allah gradually unveils them. Not to embarrass them, not to humiliate you, but to free you from a connection that has no foundation. You will start noticing things you never noticed before. A pattern in their behavior. A tone that wasn't there earlier, a lack of effort that becomes obvious. What they hide eventually becomes clearer than what they show. This is why the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught that actions are judged by intentions. You may see the action and think someone appears kind, helpful, respectful, or caring, but Allah knows whether that action came from sincerity or from an agenda. And He will not let you build your trust on a false foundation indefinitely. There are people who portray themselves as supportive, but inwardly they carry jealousy. People who act friendly, but speak negatively about you when you're not present. People who compliment you while secretly hoping you fail. People who act close to you while having no loyalty in their heart. You cannot see these realities because you only see the surface. Allah sees the layers underneath. So Allah reveals them. Sometimes slowly, sometimes suddenly. You notice that their kindness is selective. Their loyalty is conditional. Their interest appears only when they need something. Their support feels hollow. Their promises are inconsistent. Their respect weakens when you no longer benefit them. Their affection fades when your boundaries become firm. You don't need to investigate. You don't need to demand explanations. You don't need to chase proof. When Allah is showing you someone's true nature, the signs themselves become the proof. Silence becomes the exposure. Distance becomes the exposure. Their own behavior becomes the exposure. And the moment clarity arrives, pay attention. Because one of the biggest mistakes people make is ignoring the warning signs Allah sends. You see the truth, but you justify it. You experience the shift, but you deny it. You sense the insincerity, but you still hold on, thinking the connection can be saved. But Allah removes people for a reason, and He exposes intentions for a purpose. If He wanted the connection to continue, He would purify it. If He wanted the person to stay, He would correct their heart. If He wanted the bond to survive, He would protect it from deception. So when a person's true intention shows, do not try to repaint it. Do not try to convince yourself otherwise. Let the truth guide you, not your attachment. Allah tells us in the Quran that He knows what the hearts conceal. People can hide many things from you, but no one can hide anything from Him. And when Allah chooses to let you see what was concealed, He is giving you a gift even if it feels painful. You are being protected from investing your time, energy, trust and emotion into a place that cannot honor it. There are times when you look back and say, I should have seen it earlier. But the reality is you weren't meant to see it earlier. You were meant to see it at the moment that would teach you, strengthen you and prepare you. There is a divine schedule behind every truth that unfolds. So when Allah exposes someone's intention, it is not the end of your journey, it is the beginning of your clarity. It is the moment you stop building on unstable ground. It is the moment you understand who belongs in your life and who doesn't. It is the moment you realize that sincerity is not something you can demand. It is something Allah sends you through the right people. And the exposure itself is a sign that Allah wants to free your heart from confusion, to remind you that He is the one who knows. He is the one who protects. He is the one who clears the path so you do not walk into harm disguised as companionship. So the next time Allah reveals someone's intention, don't take it as a loss. Take it as a lesson, a warning, a redirection. Honor it. Accept it and trust that when Allah removes a person whose intentions were never pure, He is preparing room in your life for people whose hearts are clean and whose sincerity is real. When a relationship or connection is built on deceit, Allah does not allow it to stand for long. It might look stable on the outside, it might feel comforting at first, it might even appear meaningful. But anything that begins with dishonesty